Okay, in this tutorial we're gonna talk about classes and objects. Objects are something very concrete created on a base of some class. So you can have one class that is a base, and on top of that you're gonna create 10,000 of individual objects. So class is like a factory where you produce stuff, individual stuff. Okay, so that's a like introduction. Let's go practically to some source code because that's the easiest way to understand things. So here outside of the main method I'm gonna create string x. Okay, let's give it a value like totally generic stuff. Generic. Okay, so think about this as a general factory. Okay, so from here you can produce and use many of these x's down there in direct printing operations, but this is a base, right? Well, this is in class. So how to use this x down there through object? Well, what is the name of class? It is program. So type that on the left side, little bit of space, and then name for that object you are creating. Let's call it, you can call it whatever you like, but I'm going to call it first object for simplicity reasons. First object and equal symbol. Now on the left side you're gonna use something new, a new instruction, new keyword, and actually it is new, and space, and again program. So this is a little bit weird, but this is how the things are rolling. Okay, and then parentheses, guys, parentheses, don't forget that. So press semicolon and let's press F5. Will something happen? Well, actually it is happening, you don't see it. Object is created but we are not using it. What you see here is just a result of console read line, but you know that I don't want to explain that all over again. So now it is time to use this object that is created based on a class program where you have that string. Okay, let's use that stuff. Console dot write line. Okay, and in here you will not target that x like this, like just x, because that will result into problem, into error. No, we need to target that object that is created based on class. Okay, because this is that base, this is that class. So you will say, what is target here? Well, it is first object. So this is real instance now, real object. Okay, so this object, is that enough when you run your program? Well, actually you're gonna get what that thing is, like name of it, source of it from Learn CS. It is from class program, but that's not enough. You need to use this value. Okay, value. So it is enough to type dot, and then in a listing you're gonna have that x as something that is offered to you, and now you will through that object get and use any of these, let's say, variables. So F5 and you will see general characteristic on a screen. So the bottom line, you're grabbing this x and you can have many of these variables, but they are now reachable through some kind of object. In this case, name for that object is a first object. So again, we're gonna use this x but through another object, and we can create many of them. So what is approach? What is the name of class? Program. Custom name for that object. Second object equal, don't forget new. Okay, and again program, and don't forget semicolon. And it is not enough to have it, you also need to use it. Let's say console.writeLine for simplicity reasons. Now you are targeting second object. Okay, second object, and from that second object, again, you can get into X and use it, but through object, guys, through object. Okay, so object is like a very concrete instance of specific class, right? So F5, and you will have two results, but through two different objects. And how many of these now you can use? Well, actually, now when you have it, you can do whatever you like with that. For example, we're going to grab this, we will copy paste it down there, and actually we're gonna multiply that with first object. Why not? So let's grab first object X, we're gonna put it right here. Okay, and now we're gonna enclose this in dedicated parentheses, because this is actually mathematical operation, so I'm gonna use those things, those parentheses, and the result will be oh, this is a string, sorry, so I'm gonna change this X to something else, so it will be integer, and let's give it a value of 5, let's say, or 10. So 10 times 10 will be 100, but through objects. Okay, so F5, and there you go, you have printed the value of it, and you have individual result. So that's cool if you like that way of thinking about things, but probably some of you guys are confused, so I'm gonna roll with that previous string, and I'm gonna completely delete this, because I don't know, maybe you like strings a little bit more. Okay, so F5 again, and we're gonna have two results here. So here's a question: can we create a method outside of main method that will use some object? Okay, so we will create object that will be in a method, and method will be outside of main method. So let's do this. It's a little bit weird, but it will work. So static void, because we will just print. Let's call this method outsider. So parentheses, and now here we are going to create method, sorry, object. How? Well, same stuff as here. We are going to say program, that's a base, a little bit of space, and the object name will be, I don't know, generic object or generic, and equal symbol, new, and program. Okay, so that's one part of instruction, and now we will actually print it. So console.writeLine, we will grab that generic object, and in here, through here, we will grab that X. So object is like to some degree as intermediary. Okay, so your own custom name, custom handle to get concrete stuff from a base class. It's a little bit weird, but you will get used to it. So generic dot X, and now everything will be fine. Now you will not see that result here, because it is not enough to have method, you actually need to use it. I mean, no one is forcing you to use it, but if you want to see results, of course, that we must use outsider down there. Okay, and before outsider there is no need to type anything, because we are already in the same namespace where you have main method and all these other stuff. So they are inside same boundary. Okay, so F5, and 3 times you're gonna see that generic characteristic. So if you are kind of confused, that okay, then I mean, delete method. Okay, don't use it, and then play around with different variables inside a class, like string x and y and character z and some kind of float or something like that. So you just need to understand that if you want to create an object to reach many of these individual smaller things, you need to use on the left side the name of class, custom name of object, new instruction, and again name of class, but this time with parentheses. And when is that enough, when that is created, that object, then you can use it, do whatever you like with that. So you're gonna reach all these x and y and z's and whatever through that object. Okay, so yeah, it's enough for one tutorial. Practice a little bit. As I said, don't confuse yourself with methods if that's too much. Just roll with very simple variables. Okay, thank you for watching, and hopefully this is clear. And yeah, so see you in a couple of minutes with a new tutorial. See you there. Ciao.